Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. My name is Dheeraj Chaudhary and welcome back to our AWS ECS Cloud Engineer Essential series. So far we have been running services with a fixed desired count, maybe 2 or 3 or 1. But what happens when traffic spikes hit or when traffic drops at night? So running too few tasks causes performance issues and running too many waste the money for us. That's where auto scaling comes into picture. Today we will explore how to automatically scale your ECS services based on demand, optimize your cost, and ensure your applications handle any load. So let's get started. So auto scaling solves the problem of variable workloads. So most applications don't have constant traffic. You might get 1000 requests per minute during business hours and 100 requests per minute at night. With a fixed task count, you are either under provisioning during the peak hours or over provisioning during the hours where there is no traffic. So scaling up during peak hours ensures your application handles increased load without performance degradation. When traffic spikes, auto scaling launches additional tasks to distribute the load for you. Scaling down during low usage saves cost. So at 3 a.m., when traffic is minimal, you might only need 2 tasks instead of 10. So auto scaling reduces your task count automatically, which would lower your AWS bill. Auto scaling maintains performance during unexpected events. If your app goes viral or get featured on social media, traffic can spike 10x suddenly. So auto scaling detects this and adds capacity within minutes, preventing crashes or slow response times. So ECS has two types of autoscaling. Service autoscaling, which adjusts the number of tasks, that is your desire count based on metrics. And another one is cluster autoscaling. So service autoscaling you can use for Fargate, and for cluster autoscaling you can use it for EC2 launch type, where you adjust the underlying compute capacity, adding or removing EC2 instances as per your need. So we will focus on service autoscaling today, which works for both Fargate as well as EC2. So service autoscaling uses AWS application autoscaling, which is unified autoscaling service that work across ECS, Lambda, DynamoDB, and other multiple AWS services. It's not specific to ECS, it's a general purpose scaling engine. So autoscaling monitors CloudWatch metrics to make scaling decisions. So common metrics include average CPU utilization across tasks, average memory utilization, and ALB request count per target, and custom metrics that we defined. So autoscaling adjusts your service desired task count within boundaries you are going to set. So you can define minimum and maximum task count. Maybe minimum is 2 for high availability and maximum is 20 for cost control. So autoscaling changes the desired count within this range based on metrics. Scaling policy defines when and how to scale. A policy might say if average CPU exceeds 70%, add 2 more tasks, or if your request count per task exceeds more than 1000, add uh, further more tasks to bring it down to 500 per task. So you can create multiple policies based on different scenarios. This works identically for Fargate as well as EC2 launch types. For Fargate, AWS provisions the underlying capacity automatically, and for EC2, you may also need cluster autoscaling to ensure you have enough EC2 instances to host the additional task. So now let's talk about target tracking scaling. This is one kind of scaling methodology. So target tracking is the simplest and most commonly used scaling policy. You specify a target value for a metric, and autoscaling does whatever it takes to maintain that target. The most common example is keeping CPU utilization at 70%. You tell autoscaling, maintain 70% CPU, and it calculates how many tasks are needed. So if CPU is 85, autoscaling adds task to bring it down to 70. If CPU drops to 50%, it removes task to bring it up to 70%. So autoscaling continuously adds and removes tasks to maintain the target. So it's not a one-time adjustment. It monitors the metric every minute and makes adjustment as needed. So this creates a self-regulating system that responds to the changing workload automatically. Target tracking supports predefined metrics out of the box. For ECS, these include average CPU utilization, average memory utilization, and application load balancer request count per target. So you can select the metric and specify your target. No complex configuration is needed over here. Now, step scaling policy gives you more control by responding to the CloudWatch alarm thresholds with different actions at different severity levels. So, step scaling is a alarm based. You create CloudWatch alarm that monitors metrics like CPU utilization, and when an alarm enters the alarm state, it triggers your scaling policy. And when the alarm returns to OK state, the opposite action may occur. You define multiple steps for different severity levels. So instead of single target, you can specify ranges. For example, if CPU is between 70 to 80, add one task. If CPU is between 80 to 90%, add two tasks. And if CPU exceeds 90%, add five tasks. This allows aggressive scaling during severe load while being conservative during mild increases. A practical example, suppose your application normally runs at 50% CPU. A step scaling policy might add one task when CPU reaches 70% and add two more tasks when the CPU reaches 80% and add five more tasks when CPU exceeds 90%. This graduated response prevents overscaling for small increases while responding strongly to severe load. Step scaling policy also provides more control than target tracking for complex scenarios. You can fine tune exactly how many tasks to add at each threshold. So you can have different behaviors for scaling out versus scaling in. You configure separate scale out policy and scaling policies. Scale out responds to high utilization alarms, adding capacity, and scaling responds to low utilization alarms, removing capacity. You might scale out aggressively by adding a task quickly, but scale in conservatively, removing tasks slowly to avoid any performance issue for the users. Now, scheduled scaling is for predictable traffic patterns where you know in advance when the load will increase or decrease. So you schedule scaling actions to run at specific time. So if your application serves business users and traffic always spikes at 8 a.m. when people arrive at work, schedule a scaling action to increase desire count from 3 to 10 at 7:55 a.m. Then schedule another action to scale back down in between 3 to 6 p.m. where users go home. Then schedule uses cron expressions, which are time patterns. A company uses this where a cron expression is like 8, so it will be 8 a.m. between Monday to Friday, means at 8 a.m. on weekdays, you can create complex schedules like scale up Monday morning, scale down Friday evening, or scale up on the first day of each month. So this is how you can create multiple patterns by using cron jobs. Now, scheduled scaling is useful for batch jobs that run at specific time. Business hours application where traffic flows, work schedules, or marketing campaigns that generate traffic at known times you can use at that time. So, scheduled scaling complements metric-based scaling, so you can use both of them together. So, scheduled baseline capacity changes from known patterns that you are aware of. Then let target tracking or step scaling handle the unexpected variations. For example, scheduling uh, scheduled scaling to 10 tasks at 8 a.m., but target tracking can add more if CPU still exceeds 70%. So that is how you can use combination of both the scaling policies together. Now, cluster auto scaling. So this comes into picture when you're going to use EC2 launch type. So let's understand how it works. So cluster autoscaling is specified to EC2 launch type and manages the underlying EC2 instances in your cluster. With Fargate, this isn't needed because AWS is handling the capacity automatically for you, right? When service automatically tries to launch more tasks, it needs available capacity like CPU and memory on EC2 instances. Without cluster autoscaling, you might scale your service to 20 tasks but only have capacity for 15. The remaining 5 sit in the pending state because there is nowhere for them to run. So cluster autoscaling uses capacity providers to manage this. A capacity provider is linked to an autoscaling group of EC2 instances. So when ECS needs more capacity to place task, it signals the capacity provider to add more instances for them. You configure a target capacity percentage, typically 80%. This means ECS tries to keep your cluster at 80% utilization. If utilization exceeds 80%, not enough capacity for task, right, to be provisioned on it. So ECS adds instances. If utilization drops below 80%, ECS removes the instances. This is how you can use it for cluster autoscaling. This prevents insufficient capacity errors. So your service for autoscaling says that launch 5 more tasks, and the cluster autoscaling ensures EC2 instances are available to host them. So the two systems actually work together. Service autoscaling adjusts the task count, and cluster autoscaling adjusts the instance count. So if I take you to our console, so see, this is our cluster, right? If I click on the cluster, so what you can do is you can go ahead and update the cluster. Or for example, right now we are not having any auto scaling, but you can add capacity provider over here and also add auto scaling to it if it offers. Or now what we are going to do is we are going to focus more upon our services auto scaling. So configuring auto scaling for your service. So for that, what we are going to do is we will go into our ECS service. So first we will go to cluster, then we will go to our inside the cluster, we will go to our ECS service. Once we are in ECS service, then we are going to set the minimum and maximum task count. Before that, we will select, we will go to update service, and I will scroll down and go to auto scaling. So here is the auto scaling option for us, service auto scaling. I clicked on this and then I say use service auto scaling, and here comes the two options that I'm speaking about, set minimum and maximum task count. So let me go ahead and mention the task count over here. And after that, what we will do is we will create a scaling policy once we select the task count by adding the scaling policy over here. And then we will run a simulation load by using our load balancer and see if it is auto scaling or not. So let's get started with our demo. So let me do one thing. Let me go ahead and jump to our server. So now we have already selected auto scaling. So after selecting auto scaling, next step for us is to go ahead and so now I will select minimum number of tasks as 1, which is again same as our desired task mentioned above. And the next is going to be, I will make it as 2. 2 would be the maximum it can scale. Then I will click on add policy. Once I click on add policy, we are going to go ahead with target tracking policy. Inside target tracking policy, I will select the metric as CPU utilization, average CPU utilization. Once I select that, then I am going to set the target value as 50. So once I select the target value as 50, I will go ahead and scale out, that is the cooldown period. I am going to keep it as 60 seconds, and scale in cooldown period I am going to keep as 120 seconds. And that's it. Then I am going to go ahead and update our service. So once I update our service, the next, okay, sorry, the policy name I have to mention. So let me say policy name as CPU utilization. So I have kept it as CPU utilization auto scale, and I will click on update. That has enabled auto scaling for our service. Now what I'm going to do is I will try to open the Cloud Shell in new window. Once my Cloud Shell opens, I will go back to our load balancer. Inside our load balancer, we will have to copy this DNS. So before that, I will just close this, and over here, I will try to run a command that while true, semicolon, do curl, and http colon double slash our DNS name. I will copy and paste over here. This is going to create an artificial CPU load onto our machine, and again semicolon, and then I will say done. So I hope this runs on Cloud Shell, otherwise I will have to run it locally, but let's try. If it is possible to run it from here, then I will hit on enter, and yes, it has started creating the load, guys. You can see it is again and again and again uh, trying to perform the curl command. And if I go to service deployments, let's go to our task and see if this is our running task. If I open that, and let's see if we have any metrics. No, metrics is not there. So let me reload this. So right now, guys, you can see only one task is running. So I will go back in task. So one task is up and running. Okay. So let's see if we go inside, we can get some metrics of the task that we have. Okay, so I think we have not enabled the metrics on the cluster level. That's why we cannot see, but no worries. We will wait for some time and monitor if our task is getting overloaded, and it is going to scale up with one more new task for us. So let's wait for a few seconds. For sure, it is going to scale for us. So guys, over here you can see our CPU utilization. So it is actually spiking, but it has not yet spiked to that level that it is going to go. So it is for last 3 hours. So let me try to reduce it and make it as custom. So instead of hours, let me see last 5 minutes and see if CPU utilization is actually spiking. It will take at least 5 minutes to go ahead and show us over here. So instead of 5, let's keep it 1 hour. Yeah, it is showing. So right now the CPU utilization is 8.7. And now if I go ahead and meanwhile open the task and reload this. So guys, as you can see, it took some time, but now it has started provisioning a new task. So because I only kept the desired value as 1, but now it should maximum scale to 2. That is the reason you can see it has started provisioning now. So if let's see, now this is running. So now it has maximized from 1 to 2 just 2 seconds before. So if you see in events also, you will see that the service has started one task over here, correct? So this is how it is saying maximum desired count set to 2, waiting the change to be fulfilled by ECS. So this is how you can go ahead and test your auto scaling when you are going to do it. So that's a wrap for today's tutorial for auto scaling in ECS. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning step by step, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the upcoming tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.